Hey, what is going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to talk about setting up our stack within Portainer. Now, what that's going to do is going to allow us to essentially do infrastructure as code, allowing us to spin up our environment using code or a YAML file. Now, the reason why this is important is because we want to automate as much as we can, not only at our home, but also in the workplace. In the workplace, you might be using something like if you're in the cloud in AWS, you might use CloudFormation, or you might use something like Terraform, which is more cloud agnostic. Now, with Portainer, using a stack, I had set up an example here. So here's the various containers that are already running in my environment. So Dashy is actually running through Portainer, and then we have N8N, and then obviously we have Portainer. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually pretty much migrate our N8N Docker instance over to our Portainer. And what this does is it's going to be stored in a GitLab repository. And then so anytime any changes are made to that configuration, or if we want to go ahead and push and deploy this, and let's say we want to delete it or destroy it and then bring it back up later, this is what it's going to allow us to do. Is it's going to allow consistency and efficiency with deploying our infrastructure. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, as you can see, I'm kind of moving over to GitLab for my Homelab documentation, kind of just playing around with the idea. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to work it yet, but right now, as you can see, I have some scripts folder. I have a pipeline, which is not really being used yet. This is just an empty file, something I may use later on to automate some tasks. Actually, I'm definitely going to be using this, and I'll show you what I mean later. Then we have our README, obviously, and our first container. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over to 192.168.1.107, which is our Ubuntu 1. And that's going to be hosting one of our services, and that's going to be our N8N. As you can see, 192.168.1.107, and it can be accessed by this DNS name. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to head over to that server now. All right, as you can see, if I list out the contents of this directory, you're going to see that we have within N8N, we're going to have our Docker Compose file. This is a backup file, and our local files. Now, if we do Docker sudo Docker ps, we'll be able to see that we are actually running these containers right now. These containers are running. So we have our N8N, we have our dashboard, which is already running in our environment, and then our Portainer. And then traffic is going to be running with N8N. As you can see, if we open up our Docker Compose file, pretty standard Docker Compose file for N8N. Actually, I think I might have pulled this off of GPT. I just asked for, or actually this might have been from the documentation actually. I'm not sure, but pretty standard. So you got some commands that it runs, ports, volumes, persistent. I don't remember. I think I might have made this change. I can't remember exactly why. Yep, again, pretty straightforward. So this is N8N, this is for traffic. And then we have our persistent volumes down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just migrate that file, and we're going to upload it to our GitHub repository. So just for simplicity, usually I'll use Visual Studio Code or Bash. I'll go ahead and I'll push it up. But since we are just right here and it's pretty straightforward, we're just going to do, and then we're just going to literally copy and paste. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do, and then we're just going to do copy. And commit changes. So we have our N8N YAML file, and we're going to go ahead and commit changes. Initial commit. This might change later on, the naming convention. I think with the other one I did, yeah, Dashy. Maybe we'll actually change that now. It shouldn't matter actually. So we're just gonna leave it for now, but maybe I'll change it later on for my own Homelab. So N8N.YAML, and then we have our Dashy. So let's go ahead and open up Portainer. All right, so what I did just off the video, I went ahead and I just killed and removed those containers from our server. So now we're starting fresh, and we do not have that listed in our Portainer. So we're gonna go head over to add stack, and then we're gonna so first we're going to name our stack. We'll just go ahead and do N8N for now. And then we're going to do repository authentication. And here it's pretty simple. We're going to do our Git username, and I'll blur this out, and then our personal access token. And then you're obviously going to do the Homelab or the URL. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this information out, and then I will fill you in after. All right, so we did a name. I'm going to fill out the username after this. I'll just go ahead and submit it. We have a personal access token. This is just a temporary one I just had created for this specific instance. We have the repository URL, which can be found once you are going into the repository. You're just going to grab it here at the top. You're going to leave this default depending on what you want. In my case, I'm fine. If not specified, you will use the default reference, normally the main branch, which is exactly what we're working off of. And then we just have our compose path, which was that n8n.yaml file that we had just created. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out this username, and then I'm going to go ahead and submit it. All right, so once everything is complete, go back to your stacks screen, and you will now see that you have N8N, and you also have the options enabled unlike Portainer, right? So if we go into Portainer, it's very limited as far as us being able to remove it or anything like that. But now if we go in N8N, we have a little bit more available to us, which we'll cover in just a minute. So while I was doing this, I actually ran into an issue, which is something I was going to cover next anyway. And I had to make some changes to our configuration file. So one of the things that I had to modify was, for now, I'm just going to go ahead and just use n8n.homelab.local. And we're not going to go ahead and set up TLS or anything like that to use like a certificate maybe down the road. But right now, we're just kind of doing this for the lab. And then we have our N8N secure cookie set to false. Otherwise, you will get an error. Now, the reason why I brought this up, so I did this, and then I made changes to our stack. And I was able to pull those changes without doing much. So to show you, let's go ahead, and I'm going to actually break it first. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we're going to set this to true. All right, so we set our cookie to true. So now if we go back into Portainer, and we don't have GitOps updates enabled yet, which we'll talk about in just a minute, we're going to go ahead down to actions, and we're going to do pull and redeploy. And we're just going to go ahead and say update. Now what that's going to do is just going to update the stack. So if we go back here, go back in N8N, as you see, it's a success. You actually didn't need to leave. I don't know why I did that. Then you go down here at the bottom, and you're going to see that it was just created, which was just a few seconds ago. And now if we open up our n8n.homelab.local, you'll get that error message that I was just talking about. And as you can see, it tells us to set that cookie to false. So the reason why this is important is because if you ever have to make changes to your infrastructure, that is how you would do it. And it's pretty straightforward. So go back into your Git repository, go to edit. Obviously, usually I use Visual Studio Code for all of this, but right now, simple changes and just doing a lab, go ahead and just change it right in GitLab. Pretty much what it's used for anyway. And then we're going to go ahead and just say, set that to false. What you could also do is just go ahead and revert, but just for simplicity's sake, we're going to go ahead and just do that. And go back into Portainer. And now we're going to go ahead and pull and redeploy again. So now if we open up our n8n.homelab.local, give it a few seconds, and we should be in our, there you go. We're now in our n8n.homelab.local. I'm not going to go over this solution, obviously, N8N. That is not the purpose of today's video, but I do have a few videos talking about N8N, and I will cover that more in the future. Last but not least, I just want to go ahead and talk about the GitOps updates. You get some more information here. There's some more information here. But essentially what it boils down to is if you go ahead and enable that option, you're going to be able to pull information from that GitLab. So anytime there's any changes being made, here's the fetch interval. Anytime that changes are being made, we can go ahead and pull those changes in without having to go down and do that other option of pull and redeploy. So you can set it to every 5 minutes. So anytime there's any changes here, every 5 minutes, it'll go ahead. If it detects a change, it will go ahead and deploy that infrastructure for you. So that's pretty cool as well. And I think I covered this in my last video, but if I did not, we're just going to kind of go over this as well. So if you go down into your containers, the cool thing about it is you get your logs, which is pretty cool. Just easy way to get that. You got your inspect, you pretty much get all of your information about your container, IP addresses, networking, and stuff like that. Stats, and then console, which is very nice. So you could get right into a shell and run any commands that you need to do for testing or whatever the case may be. But that's going to close out today's video. I hope you were able to take something away. And what we discussed today was going over the Portainer stacks, which allows us to use infrastructure as code within our Homelab for our Docker containers. And I think this is very important, not only for just automating your Homelab, but also just learning and understanding the process. So when you do go into the workplace, you kind of get an idea of how this all works. Obviously, there's going to be different tools. You're not going to be using Portainer Community Edition in your workplace, but you'll get the concepts and stuff like that. But this is all something we're going to cover in another video as well, Terraform, CloudFormation. So it's just different things that we're going to be discussing down the road. So as I said, I hope you were able to take something away. And as always, never stop learning.